basically what I say is I'm a master assembler. I take all these fabulous, real organic ingredients and I just assemble them in a way that's freaking fabulous and delicious. And that's it. And it's colorful and it's beautiful. It's delicious. It's satisfying. And it literally makes us feel amazing.
Welcome to the FUMS Now podcast show, where you'll gain information, inspiration, and motivation for living your best life with multiple sclerosis. Find us online at FUMSnow.com. I'm your host, Kathy Reagan Young. Hey everyone, thanks so much for hanging out with me again today. A little housekeeping before we meet today's guest. If you haven't signed up for the FUMS 6-pack, be sure to do so. It's a weekly email with the top 6 topics in MS from that week. I do the curation for you. No need for searches for MS news. I deliver it right to your inbox every week. Sign up now at FUMSnow.com/getthescoop. One more thing. Did you know that you can share your FUMS attitude with the world every day? Yep. We have FUMS logoed merchandise like face masks, t-shirts, coffee mugs, hats, jewelry, jackets, fanny packs, all emblazoned with the FUMS logo that really says it all. Go grab yours at FUMSnow.com/shop. Be Well Company was created by clean living activist, mother, daughter, wife, sister, friend, MS warrior, entrepreneur, Natalie Schultz-White, the skincare chef. Having co-founded 3 other successful health-centric companies, Natalie's on a mission to change the way people think about healthy living. Reversing her own MS since 2014 with a clean living lifestyle, her passion is authentic and ever-inspiring. Welcome, Natalie.
Hey.
Thanks so much for being here. Thank you for being here.
Yeah.
You have quite the inspiring story. So let's start at the beginning of your MS journey. If you would, please share your pre-diagnosis life and then your diagnosis story.
Yeah. Don't you just love that question? It's kind of like, who knows when your MS actually started?
Right. So
I
true.
think after my diagnosis in 2014, from the best of my recollection, I started experiencing symptoms back after my second son was born in 1999. And from there, I had no idea what it was. But in 2014, what had happened is I had been sick for a year and basically ended up bedridden for the last month of it. I hid what was going on from my husband and my family for the most part.
Wow.
My husband and I owned a company, so I was able to stay home. And what I did is I told him, I'm just going to work from home. I'm just going to work from home right now. And so as soon as the children and my husband would leave, I would get back into bed.
Oh my gosh.
And I would stay there all day. And I lost my sense of taste. I had lots of pain. I mean, all the typical symptoms, plus a lot of weirdo ones, like losing my sense of taste was just weird.
You were way ahead of the curve with the COVID thing.
Yeah, right. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if that happened now? Like,
right. How would you know?
So, debilitating headaches, all of that good stuff. But that last month, it got to the point that I couldn't walk without falling over. I had been tripping for several months, the foot drop and all of that.
Right.
My husband's like, are you picking your feet up? I'm like, babe, I am. I don't know what's going on. But it was like a whole crescendo of,
crap. The crap crescendo? Yeah.
It was a crap crescendo. So I ended up not being able to walk. My speech left. It started really slurred. And then it just kind of to the point I couldn't talk. My husband's like, we're done. Take me to the hospital. So he literally carried me in. And I was fortunate. I was fortunate. I got diagnosed pretty much that day from the MRI because it was so freaking obvious.
Wow.
And so I left there happy and relieved because I had been feeling so bad for so long.
And now you knew. You had an answer. Yeah.
Now I know what it is. I can fix it because I'm a fixer. I 100% solve problems. That's why I was put on this earth. I solve problems.
Yeah.
So what do we all do when you get diagnosed? You Google your head off.
Dr. Google.
I was Dr. Googling like crazy for like a couple of days, and I couldn't find a lot of information. Back then, there was not a lot of information. And the information you did find was like super scary.
Scary, yes.
So I was like, oh my God. But what saved me was I found Dr. Terry Wall's protocol book. Have you heard of that?
Yes, I've interviewed her a couple of times, as a matter of fact. Yeah, she's amazing.
So she was like my lifeline in the sea of MS craft. So I ordered the book, I read it within 3 days and started implementing the third level immediately.
Wow.
And
no ramp up for you, huh?
I didn't, because I was so sick and I was like, what do I have to lose?
Right.
Literally, and I had 3 teenagers at home. So like our house was full of crud in the kitchen, like no doubt. They were eating Hot Pockets, Cheez-Its, and we're going to Costco buying it in the fall.
Right.
So all of this is in our house, and here my husband wanted to support me, so he's like, I'm going all in with you.
Aww, that's so sweet.
We went all in, and I just started feeding us that way. And we were already in kind of a clean living lifestyle because we owned a raw food company. So we understood the importance of it. So it really wasn't a huge leap for us. Like I was already educated in that field, and I thought I was doing a good job. But basically what I learned was sugar and preservatives and oils were the things that were really getting me, along with stress. Stress is my number one, I think. Uh-huh. And I was under a lot of stress. And so all those things are what triggered it to rear its ugly head when it did. So anyway, literally within days, within weeks, I was just constantly improving. I was like, holy cow, this sugar works. And so I started a website, MS Saved My Life. And actually, I think I named it my MS Battle or something like that at first. And my husband was like, MS is saving our life. You need to change that. And that was within like a week. So it's still out there. It's MS Saved My Life. I have a Facebook. It's where I connect with a lot of people. But basically, it was like, hey, I want to put a positive spin on this, because everything I was finding, I just felt like everything was like, woe is me, and very, it was just down for me. And I'm a really positive person, and I need to look at it in that light in order to heal myself. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm going to create my own space. So that's what I did. And when we went to the doctor, of course, we followed up with the neurologist. He basically, like most of us, they hand you that pamphlet after your visit, and they're like, hey, here's a list of MS drugs for you.
Yeah, pick one. Pick one, because you went to medical school.
Yeah. I mean, literally, just pick one. And I just had never heard of anything like that. And he goes, and just know a wheelchair is going to be in your near future.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I literally, that was when I got a little scared. Now I went from being really happy I had the diagnosis, leaving there going, holy cow, my life is over.
What the hell is wrong with that doctor?
Super scary. So we looked at the list, and this was before I got the book. I kind of jumped around there. Follow me. Follow my MS brain, will you?
Okay. Plug in the cog fog. Go.
I know, right? But seriously, with the diet that I follow, the fog seriously started lifting immediately. And one of the main things is drinking water really helped me.
Cheers. Put in a plug for my water right now.
But literally within 3 days after I started flooding my body with filtered water, the brain fog started to lift. I was like, are you kidding me? So I've been dehydrated, and that's why I was feeling bad.
Right.
That's so easy.
Right.
But that was just one of the first lovely side effects of taking care of myself.
Yeah. That's so cool. Yes. I have so many questions. First of all, because I too have children, I want to understand your children's reaction to that. Were they like, I mean, of course they're concerned about their mom, but I'm talking about the decluttering, taking the yummy junk food shit out of their house and eating well. Because I think, we kind of did some of that, but not probably, I'm confident, to the degree that you've done. So what was what was their reaction, and did you have fights?
Here's what's interesting. When I was diagnosed, they were actually in Virginia. My husband and I were in Charleston. They were vacationing in Virginia with family. So when I had that whole month-long issue, it was in the summer, they weren't around to see that, which I was so thankful, because, as moms, we try and hide so much of that and be strong. I mean, I've just so much through my life, I've always just bucked up, got dressed, and just grown up like this strong woman, and I take care of things. And so this was just another area of like, thank God they weren't home, because I couldn't have hid that. So when we picked them up, my husband's telling them, mom's been diagnosed with MS, here's what, and as with all teenagers, teenagers are like, well, how's this going to affect my life?
Yeah.
Really?
What's this doing to me?
That's their makeup. It wasn't anything against them. They're just like, okay, so is this going to affect my life, or the cheese is still going to be in the closet? And so basically what we did is we kind of left their life as much as normal as possible. And so I still bought the cheeses.
But you steered clear. I'm impressed. If it's, I have zero willpower. If it's here, it calls to me.
I felt too good. I couldn't, I just couldn't. And, cause I'd been so sick. So I was cooking for them and I was cooking for us, but they were trying our food.
Oh.
And they liked it.
Oh, even better. So there was no forcing. That's why it worked, because they did it on their own. It was their idea. Good on you, Mama.
But it was really good now because they're 24, 22, and 20. And they all now are calling me or texting me, hey, how'd you make that thing? Or for recipes, or how to ferment this, or how to do that. And I'm just like, I did it. I did a good job. That's all that matters to moms, is that we pass on all these things that we've learned and gone through. So to me, that's cool.
Yeah, so true. So how did that develop into what you're doing in terms of your business?
Super easy jump for me. Super easy jump. And this is where I love talking to people about this and inspiring them, especially women. When I discovered what I was putting on my face and on my body was going directly into my skin with zero filter, straight into my bloodstream. I'd already cleaned up my body. What I'm putting in my mouth, going into my belly, this is all filtered, but still I knew the importance of how clean it had to be, because it was healing and reversing my MS symptoms.
Can I stop you just for a second? Because I think that sometimes the terminology can be confusing. What do you mean by clean?
Clean eating. I thought you were going to refer to the healing. I'm very careful to say that I am reversing my MS symptoms. Let me just say that first. I have not had a follow-up MRI. Get that question a lot. I don't feel I need to put my body through that. I know how I feel. No MRI is going to tell me how I feel or function on the daily better than me. So maybe at some point I might, and I'll definitely share it. Okay, so that's number one. I'm reversing my symptoms. I can't say I'm healing myself. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And then you asked me clean eating. Okay, that's a huge.
What's clean? What constitutes clean?
Yeah. Okay, so clean for me, clean eating, and it's how I view my skincare and my food. It's as close to nature as possible.
Okay.
So I always go for organic. You want to reduce the toxic load as much as possible. That's all I'm trying to do on the daily. I'm reducing my toxic load. Just to unburden my body. It's got enough to do, right? I'm just trying to support it in what it naturally does. So by reducing my toxic load, I'm avoiding preservatives. I'm avoiding any type of synthetics or any type of colorants or anything that you might find in food and in skincare. So that's why I always opt for organic. If you can go organic, go organic. So
and you're an ingredient reader. You're an ingredient 100%. Reader. Yeah, got it.
Here's a fun fact. Real ingredients don't have an ingredient list.
Oh, because it is what it is.
An apple is an apple.
Right, like whole food. Hello.
So I take real whole foods, and I basically, I cook well, or whatever my husband says, but basically what I say is I'm a master assembler. I take all these fabulous, real organic ingredients, and I just assemble them in a way that's freaking fabulous and delicious. And that's it. And it's colorful and it's beautiful. It's delicious. It's satisfying. And it literally makes us feel amazing. So it's kind of like, how can you not do that? And the cool thing about real whole foods, they're never going to hurt you. They're never going to hurt you. What harm do you have in eating this way? They can only help you.
Right.
Food that is full of preservatives, if it comes in a box, if it comes in a can, if it's in a bag, all these things, they're going to have a preservative more than likely. Although, there's always a disclaimer. there's so many really amazing companies now today making foods that are not preserved, that are made with real whole foods. They're just more processed. So they're not as close to that natural state. So I tend not to eat as much of those, but I do eat some of those food items now. And I'm thankful I have them in my life. It makes it easier.
It's helpful. Right. Yeah. Got it. I'm soon going to be launching the Patients Getting Paid online course that will teach you how to get paid because of your illness, not despite it. Are you interested in doing patient advocacy work, but you don't know where to start? Want to learn about how to find online remote gigs or learn to create your own? I wish somebody would have created this roadmap for me. I spent a lot of time and energy and money figuring it all out. I want you to be able to leapfrog over all that stuff and get to the good stuff, getting paid for sharing your story. In my new course, Patients Getting Paid, I'll be sharing my experience and my resources on how to create an income online that lets me take good care of myself. Want to learn how I did it? Want a list of resources, places to look for online gigs, and templated emails with what to say? It's in there. Want to hear about tons of different ways you can actually build a business while taking better care of yourself? It's in there. Want to be included in a database of chronic illness warriors so your contact info can be shared when opportunities for your disease come my way? Then get on the waiting list for Patients Getting Paid and be the first to know when it launches. Sign up now at patientsgettingpaid.com/list. You had said to me that you have been treating your MS with real whole foods, which we just talked about, and toxic-free lifestyle 3 days after your diagnosis. So I guess that was after you got a hold of the Walls protocol.
Yes.
Okay. And then you said something to me about you decided not to take any drugs. Is that correct?
I did.
Okay. So we have not gone there yet. That's an interesting, so as happened to me, your doctor handed you a bunch of information and said, here's all this medical shit. Good luck. Yeah. Come back and tell me what you want to do. So how did you make that determination? Did you think initially you were going to go on and then you determined not so much, or you did go on and you went off? Tell me the story.
Well, do the research. We did the research. My husband and I, this is a joint, we are like a team on this. So none of this that I talk about is by myself, I promise you. Because even when he travels now, like I feed myself fine, but I do a much better job when he's here and I get to cook for him too. So having said that, we researched everything and we were looking at the side effects of the drugs that could happen. And we were understanding the body and how it functioned and the immune system and what was happening with me with MS. Because quite frankly, we were naive in that area. We didn't have a lot of education until my diagnosis. So we just had to like submerge ourselves really fast. And having already been advocates in knowing the power of real whole food, it was, again, not a hard leap for us. So we thought, okay, you know what? Let's go this route first. Let's not take the man-made drugs. Let's try and do the whole real food route first. Let's see how far we can get, because the drugs are always there. I can, if I need them, I'll take them. Like I'm not against them necessarily. Like I believe I'm not like one of these people like, oh, don't vaccinate, don't take drugs. That's not at all where I am. I just would rather approach it from a natural standpoint. And if I can do that, I always do that first. It's how I raise my children too. That's what we do.
Makes sense. Makes sense. And then you also mentioned what you call as a toxic-free lifestyle. So I get it. You weren't taking the drugs. You were eating clean. What else makes it a toxic-free lifestyle?
Yeah.
Did you get shitty people out of your life? Because that was how I helped my toxic lifestyle.
100%.
Bye-bye.
Cheers to that, girl. Cheers to that. So that was a really strange time in our lives because you kind of find out who really likes you. It's like a lot of people, they're like, whoa, what's that? You have what? I don't even know what to do.
Right. Can I catch that?
Yeah. So there was a lot of weeding out from business ventures that I had, business connections. Yeah, there was just a lot of shizzle that came to the surface. that really helped me clean my life up to a point that I started feeling so much better. Things, kind of simple daily things, which I know doesn't sound like a lot, but for me, I'm really, I like everything super organized in my home personal life. Like I like things in their place. I work really hard to do that. I make the bed every morning. I did all these things, and it made me function better. So I thought,
well, because you feel like you've got some control then, right?
Yeah. So after the diagnosis, though, my husband's like, you can't do all of this anymore. He said, you understand that, right? You only have so much energy. Which, have you ever heard of the spoon theory?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I read the spoon theory, and I thought, I only have so many spoons every day, and I don't
use them wisely. Right.
Yes.
Right.
So I stopped making the bed. He makes the bed now, or it doesn't get made. And you know what? I'm totally
You're okay with it.
That's their company. Yeah, totally fine with that. There's a lot of things I do. I might leave dishes in the sink. Would have never done that before. But to me, these are big deals. Mm-hmm. So those were part of my healing. Other things I did was obviously skincare. I started looking at the products I was feeding my skin, because I was like, okay, these are going in my body. So this is something else I need to take care of. And all of these things I did one at a time. Trust me, this wasn't like, the food I did as fast as I could because it was easy. But for me,
sounds like you inherently recognize too that could make a big difference for you.
Because it did right away.
Yeah. So you saw a difference.
So then I started looking at my skincare products, and I started like cleaning those up, and couldn't find exactly what I wanted, of course. So I started making my own. And
I invented it.
And I got way better results with what I created with these real whole foods that I was like feeding myself, and now I'm feeding my skin, and I'm like, this is cool. I like it.
Right.
So that's why I call myself the skincare chef, because we're literally feeding our skin with it. And women of all ages, from their teens all the way up, I've got 80-year-olds that use the product that are just like, I've never in my life tried a natural product that works like this. And I'm like, I know, because no one really comes, in my opinion, that I have seen, comes at it from the standpoint that I do of like feeding the skin real whole foods, because your body recognizes those items. Your body does not recognize synthetic man-made items. So it doesn't know how to process them in the same way. So when you support your natural ecosystem, whether it be the microbiome in your belly or the one that lives on your skin, you're just actually upping your immune system to be able to do the job that is in your body to do.
Makes a ton of sense. So you had 2 businesses prior to this, is that correct? What were those businesses?
Drinking my iced coffee.
Good for God, I'm so jealous. I want some coffee so bad right after this.
My husband makes excellent coffee. And
he sounds like quite the caregiver. He sounds lovely.
He is. He's totally, he's very manly. He's going to be like, hey, you made me sound like this.
No, he just sounds wonderful. He sounds wonderful.
And you know what makes me really sad when I heard from so many people that their spouses or their girlfriend or boyfriend left them after their MS diagnosis. And I thought, holy cow.
That's super common.
That's more common than not.
Right.
So I know that I'm unusual, and I'm very sensitive to that when I talk to people and they reach out to me, because not everybody has that support system. So I know I'm fortunate.
But it's great to hear about it.
Absolutely. And I want people to know that, there are other good people.
There's good people out there.
And you asked me a question.
I just asked you about your first 2 businesses and if they had anything to do with this, or if they, informed your third business.
Was it was the Healthy Raw Food Company. That's the one before diagnosis.
Okay.
That's the one my hubby and I moved to Charleston, South Carolina for, and we were part of. Now, Steve, that's the one I was doing my job from home. When I was doing so great.
From bed.
Was hiding all of my symptoms. So that was our first one. After my diagnosis, we actually shut the company down because we had to regroup and rethink how we were running our lives. And it was so stressful because we actually did the manufacturing. We ran the whole we were sold in all the Whole Foods up and down the Southeast and many other stores.
Wow.
So it was just too big an operation.
That's a lot.
for us to be part of at that point. So it became more of an educational avenue, which my the business partner that was in with us, my husband and him, they went and did education out into like businesses and big companies and teaching people how to eat. So it was more on the educational side and not the manufacturing side. And that worked really well for our lifestyle, and I was able to stay home. So my second business before the skincare, super interesting. As I had mentioned, I had started drinking water. And I had a business partner I was working with an online company. And we were actually creating products, bringing them into the US and selling them online. And I had gotten diagnosed. I hid it from him for a couple months. Not hid it, I just didn't tell him.
Yeah.
Once I told
Omission.
Yeah. Once I told him, he was kind of like, that's interesting. He's like, and he wanted to know, like everybody wants to know, so what are you doing? Why do you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling about the diet and this and that. And I told him one of the first things I did was I started drinking a lot of water, and what a big difference. He goes, oh, that's why you carry that water jug around with you every day. And I'm like, exactly. And I said, it's glass because that's one of the cleanest things to drink out of. I said, but it doesn't have a handle and my grip is really bad. I haven't gotten that back yet because it was so bad. And so we started brainstorming, and we actually ended up designing a stainless steel water bottle and designed a lid that we got a patent on that has a handle on it that was easy for me to get my hand in, and a guy who has a big hand, you could carry it easily. And it also was lined with a stainless steel, the innards of it, the lid part, which most of them are plastic. The whole bottle will be stainless steel, but the inside lid will be plastic. So anyway, I wanted it all. So we launched that company. It went gangbusters within a year, like over $1 million right away in a year, just the two of us.
Wow.
So I was like, it was getting really stressful. And so I was like, all right, back up. My husband and I are constantly reevaluating our work-work balance.
Right.
And I said, this is getting too stressful. So again, we back away from that. I sold my interest in that to my business partner. And I took a few months off. And I remember driving back from Virginia to Charleston. And we were coming back one of the ways. Anyway, I told my husband, I said,
you're in that corridor driving.
We made so many trips. I said, hey, I think I'm going to start a skincare company. And he goes,
I mean, why not?
That sounds good.
Oh my gosh. You are so inspirational. You're such a go-getter. You're like, I had an idea and now I'm going to build a company and it's going to flourish, and then I'll sell that and then I'll move on to the next one. And I have that little pesky MS. Yeah. You've been saying FUMS long before you heard that term. You've been living your life. Yes. You're living that FUMS lifestyle for sure.
FUMS lifestyle. I was preparing. My dad prepared me well.
Good. That is amazing. And so tell me about the products that the skincare products that you have.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make them fun, effective, easy to use, and delicious. And I know that sounds weird to talk about skincare, like delicious, but I was literally writing some content about our labels. And the first thing I did when I made our labels was I wanted to make them, and I was describing it as lickable. And not that you really would lick it, but just when you see the colors, you just want fresh, clean, and fun,
right,
and delicious. So all the colors are based on, you want to lick it. Like it just, like this is like a beautiful, it's based on like a Meyer lemon right here. It's so lovely.
Yeah.
So it's basically, we concentrate mainly on the skin. I do have a few body products, which the gangbuster one is the best, which is the best deodorant. I don't know if you use a natural deodorant, but it is one of the hardest things.
I thought you were going to say, I don't know if you use deodorant, but I was like, I
don't know.
We're not in the same room, but I can promise you I do. But yeah, you know what? The only one that I've ever tried was Tom's.
Uh-huh.
And it did not work.
No, it doesn't work
at all.
So many don't. And think about if you've ever tried any natural skincare products, that's the same response. You're like, natural doesn't work.
Yeah, it was a good idea, but right.
Yeah, nice idea, but it doesn't work. And that's why most women don't go the natural route, because we're like, no, it didn't work. I need results and I need it now.
Right.
So cool thing about Be Well is our product actually, you don't have to wait for the results. They start happening right away from that very first use. I get messages on the daily on every platform we have that, holy cow, I am seeing and feeling the results right away, which
Very cool.
it's like the best thing that I ever get. I just love it.
Yeah, that's so cool. So you have this wonderful company and you're supporting people in their health as well as supporting yourself and your family in health. That's awesome. Yeah. I love it.
So guess who works with me now?
Who?
3 guesses. First 2 don't count.
Your husband?
Ding, ding, ding. So after 2 years of running the company completely on my own, it just got so big that I brought him in full time. So now we are business partners and we work together on everything. We produce all of the products ourselves in our Be Well studio. And I created all of the recipes. Yeah.
In Leesburg, Virginia?
In Leesburg.
Yeah, because we Virginia gals are kind of kick-ass like that, aren't we?
Kind of are.
Just saying. Just pointing out the obvious.
Virginia. I love Virginia.
I do too. I mean, you could be at the ocean and the mountains in the same day. There's history, there's beauty, I'm looking out this window at all this beautiful green right now. It's just, I can't speak highly enough.
I'm a Virginia girl.
Yay, me too.
So, and you know, having gone down the route of, we had an online company with a water bottle, and then we had a retail company with the raw foods that we were making, the snack products. So now I know the 2 sides. I knew what it took to retail. I knew what it took to be online. I knew I didn't want to be in retail with Be Well Company because I knew the effort and the stress behind that. And then the other part was I saw how quickly we grew that water bottle company and the stress that it brought. So the cool thing that I've done with Be Well Company is we've done this nice gas break, not really break, but just a nice steady organic growth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice organic growth. It's very controllable. We do not do retail. We have no plans of it. 1, because of my life work balance. But number 2, fresh, real products don't sit on a shelf for 18 and 24 months, right? They're not. You wouldn't take a bag of spinach that's been sitting there for 18 months, and that's what any beauty products that sit on a shelf. They have to have that shelf life in order for that.
More preservatives, right?
Yeah, not doing it.
Preservatives inside and out.
Yep.
Yeah, not good.
Yep.
Awesome. I've learned so much today, and most importantly, I've learned about you today. And I think we're going to be pals from here forward. I really dig your energy a lot. So if people want to know more about you or your products, where do they go? Yeah.
So you can find us at Be Well Company Skin or BeWellCompany.com. We're really big on Instagram and Facebook. That would be Be Well Company Skincare. You can find us at both of those places. And then my site that I mentioned earlier, which is where I started my MS journey, is called mssavemylife.com. That's awesome. On Facebook as well. Pretty active community of like 10,000 or so.
Gosh, just a little 10K, whatever.
I don't have as much time to be active on there. I'm much more active on Be Well Company. So if you want to find me, go there. I still pop on our Instagram all the time. So a lot of times when you're talking behind the scenes or you're talking with somebody, it could be me.
It's you.
So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
The legend herself. You also have a gift for the FUMS community, right? Tell them all about that.
I do. I wanted to extend a 10% off of your first order. You can use FUMS 10 discount code.
Yay. Love it.
And no expiration. So whenever you feel so inspired to clean up your skincare, come on over to the clean side.
Clean up your act, people. Clean up your act and get 10% off. I love it. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
This has been such an interesting and really inspiring conversation, Natalie. I appreciate it. Thanks so much for sharing with us. And one more thing before you go. We here in the FUMS Nation speak to this stupid disease as it deserves, and we tell it FUMS every day. If you would please lead us in the salute to MS, and I will be using my middle fingers extended. You told me because you're Italian, you're going to be using a little different signage. That's fine. Whatever. It gets the point across. But let's do this. Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3.
FUMS.
Yay, that was a good one. Love it. Excellent. Well, thanks so much again. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you so much.
quick shout out to Steve Woodward at podcastingeditor.com for the fantastic work on this podcast, including editing, show notes, and ingenious ideas. If you'd like help with your podcast, whether you're just starting out or an old pro, visit podcastingeditor.com and tell Steve I sent you. Thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you listening to the FUMS podcast show. Be sure to subscribe to it so you won't miss an episode. You can do that right on the website at FUMSnow.com. While you're there, sign up for the free email list so you'll be among the first to know of any new findings in MS research, new therapies and products, as well as any blog posts and podcast episodes I release. Want to chat with others in the FUMS community? Join us on Facebook at FUMS Now. Thanks again, and don't forget to talk to the stupid disease as it deserves. Tell it FUMS every day.